What if I told you that in just 90 days, you could become a version of yourself you barely recognize? Not as an idea, but in real life. The way you walk, the way you speak, the way you respond under pressure. What if 3 months from now, the version of you who hesitates, scrolls aimlessly, and second guesses everything was gone? And in his place stood someone sharper, stronger, more focused. A builder, a finisher, a force. This isn't a dream. It's a choice. And if you're truly ready to make these next 90 days the most powerful, most disciplined, most transformative stretch of your life, then you need to absorb this video start to finish. Watch it more than once if you must, because this isn't about hype. This is about execution, step by step, ritual by ritual, mindset by mindset. The blueprint you've been waiting for is finally here. But let's get this straight from the beginning. This isn't a motivational high. This isn't about feeling good. This is war, a declaration against your old self, against the patterns that trap you, against the lies you've dressed up as facts. 90 days, one decision. Go all in or remain average. Because here's the truth. 90 days isn't magic, it's math. 3 months of ruthless consistency is enough to ingrain habits that reshape who you are. It's enough to stack small wins into unstoppable momentum. It's enough to rise above the 99% still drifting through life, convincing themselves that someday's real plan. But none of it happens unless you commit, unless you cut distractions, unless you close the exits and treat this as your last shot to follow through. You've said you're ready before. Now it's time to prove it. And if you're truly serious, hit subscribe right now, because I'm walking with you on the entire journey. Not just today, but every step forward. This isn't about quick fixes. These are deep dives. And if you stay locked in, if you give it everything, you will become unrecognizable 90 days from now. But it starts here. It's time to write a new one. Let's begin. A man who truly decides burns his bridges. Not metaphorically, not halfway, not with an escape plan in his back pocket. He removes the exit entirely. He makes retreat impossible. And because of that one decision, that true, irreversible decision, he becomes someone else. Not someday, now. That's what locking in means. For 90 days, your world narrows, your focus sharpens, your path is forged. Each day becomes proof you're no longer who you were. And with each day, your mind rewires itself to believe that truth. This isn't fluff, this is neuroscience. The mind builds through patterns, through repeated action. Every decision leaves a mark. Do it once, it fades. Do it twice, it lingers. Do it every day for 90 days, without excuse, without deviation, without compromise, and it becomes who you are. And once your identity shifts, you don't try, you just do. It becomes normal to rise early, normal to go all in, normal to choose discipline over comfort. That's why 90 days matters. Not because it gives you time to experiment, but because it gives you time to evolve. And let's be real. This isn't about emotion. It's about physics, momentum. Most people never create it because they always reset. 3 days on, 1 day off. A week of focus, 2 of drifting. They keep starting over. They chase sparks. They rely on motivation. But motivation lies. Discipline doesn't. Discipline never asks how you feel. It doesn't check the weather. It doesn't care what your friends are doing. Discipline moves. And movement builds momentum. Momentum turns struggle into flow. It transforms effort into instinct. It draws the line between the man who resets and the one who rises. Because once the body adapts, once the mind believes, once the proof stacks up, something shifts. And now the work doesn't push, it pulls. But to get there, you must endure resistance, friction, doubt. You must pass through the phase where it feels like nothing's working. That's the wall most can't climb. But hear this. Resistance isn't the problem. It's the signal. It means you're growing. Muscles grow from tension. Skills sharpen with repetition. Identity transforms through emotional resistance. When it gets tough, when you want to quit, when the old ways call back, that's the threshold. That's where most fall back. That's where you hold strong, because you've made the decision. And real decisions aren't based on comfort. They're driven by conviction. Growth costs. You don't transform by easing into it. You pay for it. In sweat, in discipline, in energy. But once earned, it's yours. That new identity becomes your armor. That mindset becomes your fuel. And from that point forward, everything shifts. The man who locks in for 90 days doesn't exit as the same person, because his mind now follows purpose, not moods. He shows up without applause. He rewrites the story from I'm trying to I am. So here's the choice. Do you play with transformation or do you become it? Because when you go all in, when you eliminate exits and burn your fallback plans, you force your system to evolve, your environment to shift, your habits to align with the new standard. Discomfort isn't a red light, it's green. It's your signal to lean in, to persist, to keep stacking days. Because 90 days from now, if you stay the course, you won't just feel different, you'll be different. And the world won't recognize you. But more importantly, neither will the version of you that once held you back. There's a moment in every transformation where you stop asking, what should I do, and start declaring what must be done. That moment is now. The first two parts of this video laid the foundation. They spark the fire. But this is where we build the furnace. This is where we create a system so strong, so focused, so solid, that failure becomes less likely than success. Welcome to the 90-day lock-in blueprint. It's straightforward, relentless, effective. It's not built for comfort, it's built for change. These 90 days revolve around 4 core pillars. Non-negotiables you'll hit every single day. Each one hones a part of you. And when combined day after day, they shape a version of you that's clearer, sharper, and more dangerous than ever. Let's break them down. Pillar 1, mind. You can't outperform your mindset. Each day for the next 90, you'll dedicate a full hour to feeding your mind. This isn't passive scrolling. It's focused consumption. Reading high-level books, journaling, reflecting, writing affirmations or goals. This hour is for clarity, not entertainment. You're installing new mental software. Why does it matter? Because most people coast. They consume noise. Their minds are full of clutter, negativity, opinions, distractions. But not you. Not anymore. Your mind becomes your sharpest weapon. Read things that challenge your thinking. Write thoughts that stretch your goals. Reflect deeply on your actions, your values, your progress. 1 hour a day won't just shift your perspective, it will rewire your identity. You'll start speaking with purpose, thinking with clarity, moving with strategy. Why? Because you've replaced mental junk with high-performance input. And in 90 days, your brain runs a new code. Pillar 2, body. The body powers the mind. The mind commands the body. Train daily, 30 minutes minimum, ideally 60. Focus on intensity, not perfection. Run, lift, stretch, box, hike, but move every single day. This isn't about looking good. It's about energy and resilience. Your body is your foundation. If it's weak, your mind breaks down. Your focus wavers. Your drive dies. You don't need fancy gear or a coach or music. You need consistency. Move daily. Push through discomfort. Sweat out weakness. Build your pain tolerance. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. Each drop of sweat is proof. You chose growth over excuses. And soon, your body becomes your anchor, not just carrying your weight, but your standards. Pillar 3, mission. Each day, you lay a brick toward your vision. This is where most people falter. They wake up and drift through life, but not you. Each day, you dedicate 90 minutes of uninterrupted, focused effort to your craft, your calling, your dream. No distractions, no scrolling, no checking your phone. 90 minutes minimum. If you're a writer, you write. If you're an entrepreneur, you build. If you're mastering a new skill, you train. And if your mission isn't clear yet, then discovering it becomes the mission. You read, you journal, you experiment, you build anyway. You move forward until clarity comes. Why 90 minutes? Because most people won't even invest 90 minutes a week in their future. Then they wonder why nothing changes. This daily time block becomes your advantage. It compounds, it sharpens, it sets you apart. 90 minutes a day becomes 105 hours in 70 days. That's a part-time job in mastery. You build what the world can't yet see, but when it's ready, they'll feel it. Pillar 4, stillness. If your mind is never still, your potential remains clouded. Each day, for 10 to 20 minutes, you'll sit in silence. No phone, no noise, no stimulation, no talking, no input. Just you, your breath, your thoughts, your awareness. This is where you defragment, where you return to yourself. This stillness is not wasted time. It's precision in focus. It's where stress dissolves, where ideas take shape, where you remember what truly matters. Meditate, walk in nature, lay on the floor and breathe. The method doesn't matter. What matters is disconnecting from the noise. Most people are stimulation addicts, so their thoughts don't belong to them, but you will break that loop. You will train presence, because presence leads to clarity, and clarity unlocks power. Let's go deeper. But the elite, those who act with precision, understand that stillness isn't a lack of work, it's the foundation of intelligent execution. Your mind needs space to breathe and think clearly. Stillness isn't idleness, it's alignment, it's repair. It's where your nervous system resets, your vision clears, and your purpose recalibrates. So sit down, breathe deep, no phone, no music, just stillness, just you. At first, resistance will come. That's good. That means your mind is detoxing. Let thoughts rise, let them pass. Observe, don't react. You're not here to control the noise, you're here to watch it fade. Do this daily for 10 to 20 minutes. Watch your focus grow. Pillar 5, no negotiation. You will do what you committed to, no exceptions. This is where boys become men and intentions become transformation. This is the code that holds the system. No negotiation means you don't skip days. No excuses. No adjusting standards based on feelings. This is your internal agreement. You signed it the day you started this 90-day sprint. From that moment forward, there's no exit clause. Here's what most people don't realize. Success isn't about talent. It's about negotiation. They begin strong, but when discomfort hits, they start bargaining. Just today, I'll skip. I'll go easy tomorrow. I've done enough. And slowly they weaken their identity. They teach their subconscious, my word means nothing. Not you. You'll show up anyway. When it's hard, when it's dull, when it's inconvenient, especially then, that's when identity shifts. That's when your future self begins to trust you. No negotiation doesn't mean perfection. It means no quitting. Miss your deep work, make it up that night. Skip a workout, go twice as hard tomorrow, but don't let softness creep in. Not now, not in this phase. Remember, discomfort is the price of your next level. Let me say it again. Discomfort is the price of your next level. And that cost is paid daily. If this line hits home, press that like and subscribe. Because if you follow this system without compromise, your life can't stay the same. What happens? Your mind sharpens. Decisions become quicker. Vision becomes clear. Thoughts grow elevated. Your body becomes a vessel of strength, not just in form, but in energy. Confident, capable, centered. Your mission gains momentum. You stop overthinking, you act. Your presence becomes magnetic because you've trained stillness, focus, peace. You've separated from the distracted crowd. And your discipline? It becomes your identity, not a task, but your nature. That's the whole point of the 90-day lock-in. Not to tick boxes, but to become someone who no longer needs motivation to rise. You don't need reminders or applause. You move, you build, you live with intention. Because the old you bargained with fear, with ease, with doubt. But the new you has one rule: no negotiation. If you're truly committed to transformation, if you want to become someone you've never been, then you must make decisions today that you don't second guess tomorrow. These are 90-day decisions. You don't decide daily whether you'll show up. That's how amateurs think. That was the old you. The new you chooses once and lives it daily. The power here is certainty. You decide what's cut and it stays cut. You don't negotiate when you're tired. You don't pause when tempted. You don't water it down for friends who don't understand. You made the call. Now only discipline matters. So what's cut? Distractions. Gone. No more mindless scrolling, no more endless stimulation, no more content that entertains but weakens. It's off the table. Your environment is the front line, and if low-value inputs sneak in, they infect your focus. If it doesn't serve your mission, it's not allowed in your day. Gossip? Gone. Drama? Gone. You don't have time for small talk that keeps you small. Every conversation for the next 90 days either fuels your focus, aligns your mind, or steals your energy. You can't build anything extraordinary if your energy is fractured by nonsense. Then there's alcohol. Let's be honest. You already know. If you're serious about clarity, about growing from within, you have no room for anything that dulls your edge. It lowers your state, disrupts your sleep, muddies the clarity needed for hard decisions. Cut it fully, not forever, but for this phase, for this sprint toward your higher self. Now let's talk dopamine. Most aren't addicted to distraction. They're addicted to the chemical hit of it, the instant rewards, the noise, the novelty. Your brain's been hijacked by microstimulation, and unless you detox, you'll keep chasing crumbs instead of building your kingdom. You must reset your baseline. That means silence. That means boredom. That means discipline. These 90 days aren't about chasing dopamine. They're about retraining your mind to find fulfillment in depth. It will feel uncomfortable. That's proof it's working. Your environment is crucial. Try to do this in chaos, and you'll fail. So clear it, clean it, make it sacred. You're not creating vibes. You're building a launch pad. Your space must whisper every time you enter, "This is where I go to win." No more working from bed. No more multitasking. No background noise. Your environment must be silent, precise, intentional. Your room, your kitchen, your phone, your laptop, every piece must support your system. Nothing random, nothing casual, everything by design. And this isn't merely about your external environment. Your inner world must reflect the discipline of a monk. That means setting firm boundaries. That means shielding your time from people who don't respect your mission. That means deleting distractions, silencing group messages, and ending the compulsive urge to check your phone every 5 minutes. You're creating a sanctuary for transformation. Nothing seeps in, nothing leaks out, because every time you invite distractions, you're sending a silent message to your subconscious. I'm not truly committed. And once that message takes root, your discipline begins to decay. But when you rise and follow through, when no one's watching, when it's tedious, when it's hard, you send the opposite message. This is who I am now. That's how you reforge your identity, through each deliberate act of alignment. Your mind doesn't need more hype, it needs commands. You must stop letting feelings dictate your actions. You must stop consulting your emotions before you move. You must become the kind of person who acts no matter the mood. Because when your emotions govern your life, your results will always waver. This is the season of commanding your mind, of rewiring your thoughts to serve your vision, not your weakness, not your cravings, not your fear, your vision. So decide now, what's non-negotiable? What are you removing? What are you preserving? What deserves your energy? And what never will again? And once those questions are answered, you live inside the answer. You lock it in and you go. Because this isn't about discipline for its own sake. It's about becoming someone who finishes what they start. Most people don't fail because they're weak. They fail because they're inconsistent. They start strong. They feel the spark. They write down goals, buy planners, watch the tutorials. But once the thrill fades, so does their effort. And that's the real problem. They rely on emotion. They wait to feel ready. They wait to feel moved. But motivation is a mood, and moods are unstable. You cannot construct an unshakable life on shifting ground. So how do you stay consistent without needing motivation? You operate from identity, not emotion. That begins with identity anchoring. It means you stop acting like who you were and start acting like the man you aim to be. Not someday, today, not when confidence comes, not when the results show up, but now, right now. You carry yourself as though you've already earned it. You don't try to be disciplined. You are disciplined. You don't wish to be consistent. You move as if consistency is already in your nature. Why? Because behavior mirrors identity. If you believe you're someone who quits, you'll keep quitting. But if you see yourself as someone who follows through, you'll push forward, even when it's tough. The secret is to operate from that truth every day until your habits reshape your self-image. It's not pretending, it's becoming, one decision at a time. Now stop obsessing over goals. Set them once, then let them go. Shift your energy from goals to systems. A goal is the end point. A system is the engine that gets you there. Goals won't make you consistent. Systems will. You don't rise by fixating on outcomes. You rise by mastering your process. What's your system? What's your morning plan? What's your nighttime flow? How are your work blocks structured? Your workout times, your reading rituals, your reflection points? Your systems must be so streamlined that they require no thought, no debates, no hesitation, just execution. And to support these systems, you track them daily. If you don't track it, it didn't happen. That's not motivational fluff, it's reality. Your brain will deceive you. It will exaggerate your progress. It will forget skipped workouts. It will rewrite the narrative to shield your ego, but numbers never lie. Data doesn't care how you felt. If it's logged, it happened. If not, it didn't. So use a tracker, a wall calendar, sticky notes. It craves visible progress. That tiny check mark or filled square, that's dopamine linked to discipline, not distraction. It fuels confidence. It fuels clarity. It keeps you moving even when motivation disappears. And when you see that unbroken streak, that momentum, you won't want to ruin it. You'll pause before skipping a workout. You'll think twice before ending your day without completing your focus block, because you'll see the cost. That visible cost and heightened awareness will keep you aligned when motivation vanishes. Now create a ritual. Same wake time, same morning structure, same nighttime rhythm. Ritual creates rhythm. Rhythm fuels momentum. Momentum makes effort feel effortless. This is about automation, about creating a life where your habits lead, you don't. Commit for 90 days and treat the first and last hour of your day as sacred. No randomness, no debate. Your mornings are for mental priming, reading, movement, stillness, intention. Your evenings are for reflection, review, preparing tomorrow, eliminating stimulation. Bookend your days with discipline, and the rest takes care of itself. And when it gets tough, and it will, return to your identity anchor. Ask yourself, what would the man I'm becoming do right now? Would he skip the habit? Would he scroll instead of focus? Would he surrender to discomfort, or would he rise, tired, busy, and do it anyway? That question will change your life, because the answer is always there, and each time you choose it, you become it. Discipline isn't about perfection. It's about being unwavering in your rhythm. It's about removing the weight of decision-making. You don't ask if you'll work. You don't ask if you'll train. You do it because it's who you are now. So build the system, track the process, anchor your identity, and never let motivation be your reason to start or your excuse to stop. Because from here on, you are the reason you keep going. On this 90-day path, you'll hit 3 walls, not because you're weak, but because real transformation demands resistance. No one enters a new life without facing the ghosts of the old one. The question isn't whether it'll get hard, it's whether you'll keep going anyway. The first wall comes early. Around day 7 to 10, resistance arrives. The honeymoon ends. The thrill fades. The dopamine is gone. And now it's just you, the work, and your old self pulling you backward. Voices in your head whisper, "It's too much, take a break, you've earned it." That's not truth. That's your past self begging for comfort. But listen, this is your first test, and you must pass it in silence. This wall matters because it reveals who you've been. You don't battle this wall by screaming, you walk through it. Quietly, persistently, one act of discipline at a time. Every time you show up, despite resistance, you chip away at the old self. Every rep, every page, every deep work session, you're forging a new mind, and your old one, it feels that. That's why it pushes back. But that's also proof you're moving forward. Then comes the second wall, around day 30. This one's subtle. You're no longer struggling. You're just bored. The routine is monotonous. The grind feels dull. There's no applause, no breakthrough, just repetition. And this is where most give up, not because of pain, but because of doubt. Is this working? Is it worth it? Maybe I should switch things up. Understand this. The threat at day 30 isn't failure, it's distraction. The lure to reset, to rework, to abandon what's finally working because it no longer feels exciting. But this is where greatness takes root, in the boredom, in the discipline to keep going when it's dull, when no one notices, when nothing seems to change, when all you have is the structure, the system, and the silence. You swing anyway, because beneath the surface, everything is changing. Your mind is rewiring, your focus sharpening, your emotions steadying. You are becoming a new man, not through hype, but through habit. And soon it shows. Day 60. This is the threshold of rebirth. You wake up and you're different, sharper, quieter. You speak less, you execute more. Your habits no longer feel like tasks. They feel like you. Your body responds. Your mind stops resisting the work. The resistance has become rhythm. And suddenly you feel the shift. This isn't motivation, this is grounding. You're no longer chasing goals, you're embodying a standard. And in that moment, you realize, I've changed. But the true breakthrough, the deep transformation arrives at day 90. This isn't hype. This isn't illusion. This is proof. Your life looks unfamiliar. Your choices feel intentional. Your surroundings have evolved. You're radiating a new frequency. People notice it. You notice it, not from anything you said, but from who you've become. Silently, persistently, repeatedly. And the power of it? You didn't crave applause. You didn't chase inspiration. You didn't wait to feel ready. You just kept arriving. Daily, step by step, through resistance, boredom, and stillness. That's what makes it real. That's what makes it yours. By day 90, you don't just witness progress, you witness a new identity, carved from discomfort, forged in repetition, rooted in solitude. This isn't a 3-week burst of hype. This is real change, the kind that endures, the kind that doesn't need an audience, the kind that reshapes your core. And here's the truth. Most will never make it this far, not because they're incapable, but because they never chose. They flirted with change, you married it. So when resistance surfaces, lean in. When boredom sets in, stay the course. When the transformation starts, respect it. Because waiting for you beyond 90 days is the version of you they swore couldn't exist. There will come a moment, maybe many, when quitting feels easy. You'll convince yourself it's too hard, that it doesn't matter, that missing one day won't hurt, that restarting later makes more sense. That voice? It's not logic. It's resistance in disguise. This is where most are caught off guard. The real battle isn't out there, it's within. Not the schedule, not the noise, the inner war. And when it strikes, when your mind starts bargaining, justifying, pleading for a way out, you must remember why you began. Say it aloud. The man who seeks ease will never become the man he was meant to be. That version of you, disciplined, focused, unstoppable, isn't born in ease. He's born when you refuse to quit. That's the line in the sand. It's called definiteness of purpose, an unshakable commitment to a clear objective. Not a hope, not a maybe, a choice. And once you truly choose, quitting ceases to exist. You stop checking the weather to decide if you'll train. You stop wondering if you're in the mood to write. You stop waiting for motivation. You show up because purpose doesn't care how you feel. This is warrior training, urgent, absolute. You don't build discipline when things are easy. You build it when every part of you wants out, and you stay anyway. So when that voice says quit, what do? You anchor, you breathe, you speak your reset phrase. I said 90, not 9. 9 days won't change a life. 90 days of relentless, aligned action will. This is the contract you made, not with them, not online, but with yourself. And that contract, non-negotiable. Remember, pain is temporary. Discomfort is a signal. It means growth. Resistance is feedback. You're doing something unfamiliar, something your former self cannot survive. So don't run from the pain. Each time you press on when quitting calls, you gain something priceless, self-respect. And that is the seed of all confidence. So when the urge to quit rises, don't. Breathe, reset, recommit. Say it again. I said 90, not 9. Then get back to work. There's a point, if you endure long enough, where effort transforms, where habits feel natural, where resistance eases, where the voice that once said this is too hard is replaced by something firmer. This is who I am now. That's not motivation. That's identity. And identity changes everything. Because repetition shapes identity. What you do daily becomes what you believe. And what you believe directs how you move, what you tolerate, how you think, how you act. When no one's watching, you're no longer checking boxes. You're proving something deeper. With every rep, Every ritual, every quiet act of self-discipline, you're declaring, I am the type of person who shows up daily, no reminders needed. You're no longer chasing results. You are becoming the one who creates, completes, and surpasses them, because that's just who you are now. You're not trying to improve, you already are. You're not waiting to become that next level self, you're building it, rep by rep. This is auto-suggestion. Feeding your mind the identity you choose until it takes hold and becomes real. That's why this video is packed full of this process. Isn't one-time inspiration. It's daily immersion. You study it, replay it, speak it, until your subconscious doesn't just believe it, but embodies it. Because the man who rewires his mind rewires his life. The more you repeat truth, the more your thoughts evolve. When your thoughts evolve, habits change. Then actions. Then results. Until your identity is reborn, not through hype, but through consistency, because you anchored it every day for 90 days. Say it now. I am the builder. I don't wait for conditions. I create them. I'm not hoping for a breakthrough. I'm constructing one. Let that echo again and again until it drowns out doubt, crushes resistance, and becomes more real than the old you ever was. Because when this ends, you won't go back. You won't finish the 90. You'll emerge transformed, refined, unrecognizable, and the world won't need an explanation. The results will speak louder than words. So watch this again. Study it. Let it rewire you. Let it etch into your thoughts until the work isn't effort, it's breath. This is how change happens, not with a single choice, but with 90 days of becoming. They won't see it coming. That's the point. Disappear for 90 days. Let them wonder. Let them assume you quit. Don't correct them. Don't explain. Just go silent and build. Because what you're building doesn't need attention. It needs obsession. Not partial effort. Not convenient commitment. Total focus. All in. Every day, every rep, every brick, every brick. And when you return, you'll do it with proof, not a post, not a speech, evidence. They'll sense it in your presence. Before they see the results, they'll hear it in your voice, your words, your steps, and they'll know the old version of you is gone. That's what happens when commitment becomes final, when you stop debating, when you stop chasing and start becoming. You come back sharper, quieter, more powerful. Not because you faked it, but because you earned it. And when you do, you don't explain. You let the work speak. You let your silence be louder than their noise. Because here's the truth. You don't need to be noticed. You need to be undeniable. So if something inside just awakened, if your chest is burning, and meet the version of you that's been waiting on the other side of this war. Meet it much more than a fraction of you are capable of. Meet the version of you that's been waiting on the other side of this war. And if this message reaches you, subscribe. This is only the beginning of something deeper, higher, real. When you're ready for more, watch the next one. Don't just watch transformation, live it. Lock in, go dark, re-emerge as someone else.